Hi YouTube, it's Linda. It is 4 days, 3 or 4 days post-op. I've had my surgery, it's all over. I'm so relieved, everything went well. Um, Went to the hospital at 9 o'clock, Tuesday, October 2nd. Went to the room where they let you sit with your family and get you in a gown and everything. But the doctor he ran 2 hours late. So that was a little anxious, but my husband was there, so it was okay. Um, so then they wheel me into this operating room. And I had never been in an operating room like that. This is actually my first surgery. So it was this huge white room with big glaring lights and TV monitors and kind of intimidating. A little anxious there, but ready to get it going. So then the anesthesiologist, she said, "Okay, good night," and put the she had put this mask over my face. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up. I'm in a different room. I'm looking around, and this guy's sitting there monitoring everything on me. And apparently, I'd been there for couple hours because shortly after I woke up they took me to my room. I don't even remember getting to my room really, but I do remember I didn't have that much pain. And actually throughout my whole hospital visit I did not have that much pain. um, my daughter, who's a nurse, she told me that when they ask you the level of your pain from 1 to 10, to just really try to be real with it. So I would say like 3 or 4. And then they will give you just the amount of pain reliever you need so that you don't get overly doped up or nauseous. Sorry about the dogs. Um, Kona, quiet. So throughout my whole stay there, I just had very little medication. I got in my room at 7 o'clock at night on Tuesday, and I was up walking at 8:30. Um, and I continued to walk. I would get up and walk every other hour practically. The second day, I walked all day long. Um, the One thing, when it took longer, it took longer to do my surgery because once they got in there, they found a hiatal hernia underneath my esophagus, which I guess is pretty common. But that is one thing I had never read on YouTube or anything. So that was surprising. He had to stitch that up and move it around and repair it. Um, when the clear liquids, I wasn't hungry at all in the hospital, but every day they would bring me a tray of broth, lemonade, tea, decaf tea, um, lots of water, and really, my daughter insisted I drink the broth, but all I felt like drinking really, excuse me, was the water. That's all I really wanted. Your mouth is so dry in there. I use those little green sponges in ice like crazy. I guess the reason your mouth is so dry is because they keep the hospitals extremely dry for sterility purposes. But my mouth is still dry. Anyway, then the last day before I came home, they did some blood work, and I was low on potassium, so they were going to put in a bottle of potassium to run in my IV, but my IV had popped, blown out or something. It was going in my skin, and it was just a mess. So they said they were going to have to run a new IV before I could be released. I had to get all of that potassium. Well, two nurses came in. They couldn't find a place to to do the IV on my veins. I have really little veins, and my daughter tried. Um, then they called rapid response because they're the ones that can do it no matter what. Two of them came up and they couldn't do it. So finally I said, this is enough. I don't want to be stuck anymore, because, I mean, they were sticking me everywhere. So they let me go home without that full bag of potassium and just told me to drink a lot of Gatorade with the electrolytes. So I've been drinking Gatorade since I've been home. I came home, and once they took me off I guess it was like morphine that I was on in the hospital. Once I got off that, and they let me try, first in the hospital they let me try Vicodin to see how that relieved the pain. Well, that didn't really do anything, and I could really feel the pain. The pain is more like from the inside out. It's just when you move, you can feel it. The Vicodin didn't really do anything. The Percocet, however, was really good. But with the Percocet, you take the Percocet, and then you have hours worth of good time up talking and everything. But then you're so sleepy you can't hold your eyes open. So since I've been home, I'll be up an hour, then I will have to go lay down, and I'll sleep for like 2.5 hours. Then I'll get up and walk around a little bit, do the things I need to do. I've taken 2 showers. I took a shower the first day I got home. I was a little worried about that with my drain, because I came home with a drain. But it all went well. Everything went okay. I had to call the doctor at 11 o'clock at night, my first night home, because my drain, there wasn't anything draining out of it. So I didn't know if a blood clot was forming up in there, and there was nothing on the sheets that talked about what to do if your drain isn't draining that soon after you get home. So he said not to worry about it, that as long as it's not a funny looking color or anything, not to worry about it. So I'm just so relieved that it's over. Everyone was wonderful in that hospital. Absolutely everybody I came into contact with. I even met another RNY bypass person. We would go for walks down the hall and compare our stats. So hopefully he'll go to the support group too. I'm planning on going to our bariatric center support group. So, well, I better finish up here. I'm going to go eat dinner with my family and have broth for dinner and some more Gatorade and a lot more water. I guess it's really important not to drink less than 50 ounces of fluid for a long time, or you will get dehydrated. But if you get dehydrated this first couple weeks, it could really mess your pouch up. So I guess my overall message to all you pre-ops is, you know what? It's really not as bad as you think it's going to be. It's not totally easy, but I think if you're honest with your pain and let them give you the right amount of pain medication, it keeps you at a nice, easy pace, and you'll get through this. And it's not that bad. So good luck, and that's all. Better get off.